Yeah. Ooh,
Ready to get rolling?
Yep.
All right. Let's get started in three, two, and one. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Patel, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, Chris. We're already on week 4. We got some wise picks to take care of. Our first wise bowl of the year, which we'll get into. Just a little preview. And I don't know. I'm excited for this week. It seems the totals, when looking at it, the totals were much lower there than they have been in the past. And
Yes.
I think that I think for good reason. There was a lot of overs that I wanted to take that we'll get into, but I didn't end up taking. But I guess we'll just jump right into the picks. We sandwiched the Wise Bowl in the middle, so you'll have to wait one pick from each of us to hear it. But my first pick is a pick that I feel like was coming the second this. Oh, I'm totally blanking. What? The pass rusher. Oh my God, I went to the Packers.
Parsons?
Ah, I can't believe I just blanked. That's so early in the episode. Micah Parsons. Since the Micah Parsons trade, um, I'm going with the Packers -6.5 versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys have their defense was terrible the past 2 games, and Micah Parsons coming for revenge. Sunday Night Football. I think that the Packers get a bounce back game after their sad performance against the Browns. And honestly, I don't think this is close. So I think 6.5. I think this line went down to 6.5 because they just lost to the Browns. But I love that discount and I'm taking it.
Yeah, I mean it's two forces at once, right? It's like the Parsons revenge game, and then you have the Packers coming off embarrassing loss to a team that nobody thought that they would have any chance of losing to. Um, and yeah, it's like it's definitely a get right game for the Packers offense, and we've seen the Cowboys struggle a little bit to move the ball, um, particularly last week. Like once CD went out, so now you're going up against what looks like the best defense in the NFL. Not a great matchup. Is it in Dallas or in Green Bay?
I
I think it's
think
got to
it's
be in
in
Dallas, right?
Dallas. Yeah, I think it's in Dallas. It is in Dallas.
Okay. There's also the added aspect of like the Packers, the Cowboys every time they play,
Yep.
which doesn't help. So
Well, and this defense made Russell Wilson throw for 400 yards, 450 yards. They made Caleb look like the number 1 pick that we all expected him to look like. And I think Jordan Love, like the Green Bay Packers were talking about going undefeated before this Browns game happened. Like their players in the locker
mhm.
room talking to doing interviews, and if they lose 2 in a row, they're going to be devastated. So I think that they take care of this one, and I don't think, especially if CeeDee Lamb's not playing, which I don't think he will be, it's gonna be hard for the Cowboys to score a lot of touchdowns here and keep up with the Green Bay Packers.
Agreed. I mean, they're like it's also one of those picks where it's like if you lose it, at least you weren't like on the wrong side. You don't look like an idiot for taking it. There's not
Yes.
a reason to take a pick, but it's like don't overthink it.
Yeah, this is definitely a not overthink one. It could be a Vegas always knows one where they win by 6 in overtime or they win by
Mhm.
5 or 4, but it is It's one of the most obvious picks on the board this week, and
Yeah.
maybe that makes me a square, but we're trying to give out winners here, so I'm going for it.
Yep. Yeah. I like it. I can't say anything wrong about it or anything bad about it.
That's the other thing. It's like, what's the argument on the Cowboys side? You're just expecting a electric offense that tries to keep up because you know the defense isn't going to help. So
Yeah.
if they can somehow figure it out without CeeDee Lamb, or maybe CeeDee Lamb plays, but even if he does play, he's got to be hobbled. That injury looks bad against the Bears last week. So it worked against we picked against the Cowboys last week and it worked, and we're doing it again with another NFC North team.
Yep. Yep. I like it.
All right, your first pick.
I have the over in the Chargers Giants game at 43.5. Kind of like this dart thing. I think especially like I've gone back and forth because I don't love his first matchup being against the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh, which is a very good defense. They're the Giants. But I feel like this team has just like they need some sort of jolt.
Hmm.
And I like Scattaboo. I think Neighbors is gonna have a good game. Like he's been crying for 3 weeks now. So he better have a good game now that they've now that they've made a quarterback switch. Um so I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot more energy with this Giants offense. I still think the Chargers are going to be able to move the ball against this defense that has not been able to cover very well through 3 games. I think the Chargers will do a good job of handling this pass rush. Feels like Dexter Lawrence has kind of been made into a non-factor so far this season, which is
I think
odd.
he's kind of checking out. Like they asked him
It
about the
kind of seems
Jackson Dart. They asked him about the Jackson Dart thing, and he was like, "It's not my control. Whoever my quarterback is my quarterback." And like that's like, and I guess it maybe part of it is like he doesn't want to shit on Russ, trying to be a good guy in the locker room. But it's no, he didn't the way he answered it too. It didn't seem like there was a lot of energy. Doesn't seem like there's been there's been some rumors. It's been mainly from like that MLA football that no one can trust because they just shit post anything. Um, there has been some rumblings of a possible trade come the trade deadline for Dexter Lawrence. I don't think they do that, but it
no, I'd be
is
surprised.
it is on the table with how his attitude has been. But he is still one of the best D tackles in the NFL. Um, I think that I mean we saw the Chargers they scored 23 last week. So
Mhm.
23-20 if that's the if like it's not going to be the same score, but going off last week we miss it by a half a point, but I do think that the Chargers offense has looked electric this season so far, and we we see them kind of take out this Giants secondary that hasn't been good all year.
Yeah, and also like Denver is one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Hmm.
They didn't show it against the Colts, but the other 2 games they looked like that defense of last year, and it was really Herbert in those last 2 drives when it really mattered, putting things together. Um, and we still were half a point away from this total. I think the Giants' offense might look better than the Broncos does.
Yeah, it might. There's definitely a possibility of it, and we might see Dart run around a little bit. And I think with the Jackson Dart thing, when you put him against the Saints, y- like if they waited a week and you put him against the Saints, you kind of have to win that game, right?
I think so.
Like
Yeah,
when you put him against the Chargers and they lose, I don't think anyone's gonna blame Jackson Dart or blame the coaching decision
it's like
of going from Russ to
it's like
Jackson Dart.
swinging. Like when you're on deck and you swing with the donut on the back. Like let's play against the Chargers defense, so then when we go out and face the Saints, it's a lot easier.
Yes. Yeah, we get some rhythm under him. We get some NFL throws under him, and he goes out there. And then when we face the Saints next week, we're good to go. This is what we were looking for. And I do think that their offense will just move like it. Russell Wilson was throwing outside the numbers. It was nothing over the middle. He wasn't really running a whole lot. And when you
Mhm.
look at those, like the fourth down stuff, I know we talked about it on 2 days ago, but just abysmal red zone where I do think Jackson Dart. That's where he'll look much sharper in the red zone and in the middle of the field and moving around in the pocket. So and like this is what they picked him for. So
Yep.
They probably didn't expect it to be this early, and they probably wanted to ride Russell Wilson a little bit longer, but this is why you got him, and we gotta prove it. They're the coaching staff they're I think Dayball said that, like, we're banking on him because they literally are banking on him. He will lose his job
Yeah, he's not
if they
good.
don't
He's
win
getting fired.
games. Yeah. If they don't win games with Dart, which I don't think they're gonna win this game, but as I just said, this isn't a game they're going in expecting to win. So,
Mhm. I
I,
can see
uh,
like
I
27,
like
20, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and, uh, and I think just some confidence on the offensive side where it's not against the Dallas Cowboys is gonna be huge
Mhm.
for the fan base, they're at home. Um, it seems like an owner's decision as well, where it's like we got to get some tickets in there. Like we just hosted a Sunday night football game where everyone probably left after that fourth down hit the crossbar, and we need to get some trust back in the fans. So hopefully we see some electric football. He has that number one wide receiver that you would want with a rookie quarterback. So I think they'll score some points. I like the over here.
I
Uh,
mean, it could blow up in my face where he throws 4 interceptions and they kick a field goal, and that's all their offense the whole game, and he just looks like a nightmare out there.
it's definitely a possibility, and I think that shows I mean, that's just gonna be not only crumbling for the Wise picks, but crumbling for the state of New York and the city of New York City.
It's a win-win for me. If he looks good, I win the pick. If he looks bad, then it's just
You
another failed quarter. Well, I obviously won't bury him after one game, but
Yeah,
I will enjoy seeing the meltdown.
that is
He
true.
looks bad.
Alright, we have a Wise Bowl. I have Bears plus 1.5, and Chris, you have the Raiders minus 1.5. Since I'm the underdog, I'm gonna defend them first. Um, I think we saw some rhythm going with Caleb Williams last week. We got some plays under him that they can eventually just keep using in the offense. Um, and it was kind of like a settle down game. Like there was a lot of negativity going into the first two games or after the first two games. And the Raiders defense isn't very good. They do have a good pass rusher. Their offensive line for the Bears actually hasn't been as bad as you would have thought with the 0-2 start. But I just think that last game of piecing the plays together and getting the long balls in there, um, really will help Caleb Williams in the future. And this is almost for both teams, which I guess is a minimal argument, but for both teams, it's kind of loser goes home. Um, they
Yes.
if you start 1-4, you're probably out. And the I think the Bears, they had more expectations going into this season. I think the Raiders offensive line is abysmal. I don't think the Bears defense will capitalize on that too much, but and neither team can really run the football, so I do think it's an air it out game. And I just have I just have more confidence in the Bears offense than I do in the Raiders offense.
I hear you. Where I'm at, the reason that it jumped out to me was after I got burned by the Texans last week. I saw this line and I saw a minus next to the Raiders name, and I said that doesn't make any sense. Like if it's not the Saints or the Titans, like they should not be favored against. It feels like anybody. And the Bears are coming off this game where they put up 31 points, like they coasted to a win where the Raiders got their butts kicked in Washington. But the Raiders are coming back home off of back to back pretty bad losses, whereas the Bears are going on the road now, coming off of a win where my NFL brain says, give me the team who just lost. And I think like the way that the Commanders were able to run the ball on the Raiders, the Bears are not going to be able to do.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm worried about.
I'm kind of banking on like Caleb looking that good because it was the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Raiders are like you said, the Raiders defense is not very good, but it's like worlds better than the Cowboys.
Yes.
Like they are it almost feels like they're in a tier of their own in like ranking the NFL defenses.
The
So
Cowboys are? Yeah,
kind of
they
banking on
are.
that. Yeah. Like I think like Gino honestly, Gino played okay last week. He just didn't have any time and still was able to make a couple plays where he got outside the pocket and found Trey Tucker. So I don't think they're going to get like the Bears. I don't think will jump on them like the Commanders did and just live in Geno Smith's backfield all day. So I think it might be kind of an ugly game where like both quarterbacks are throwing the ball a lot and are struggling to get things going. Um, but I like the Raiders in a close game at the end.
Yeah, I can see that, and I think that's the worrisome with picking the Bears, especially with the running attack. Like that is the worrisome, is that the Commanders, as well as Marcus Mariota threw the ball, and as you said, he had one of the best passer ratings of the week, but the the rushing attack was really how they got downfield. The special teams was really how they got downfield. And I mean, I don't know what the Bears special team has been looking like so far, if I'm being completely honest. Um, and I guess that's all variable week to week, so it's not like it matters. Like if a good special teams was one week, then the next week it's going to be good again. Um, but the I just I also am worried that Geno Smith will be able to work in the middle of the field a lot with the Bears.
Mhm.
And their cornerbacks aren't very good. Definitely not as good as the Commanders' cornerbacks are, which is kind of crazy to say for the Commanders. Um,
Have a good secondary.
yeah, they do. They have a deep secondary too. Um, so I am taking the Bears though, and I am worried about your analogy to the Texans last week, where why is this 1.5? Why are they plus money? They just beat the crap out of the Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys just really are that bad at defense, which they probably are. Um, and which is why I'm taking the Packers, funny enough. But I like how they got into a rhythm. I like how they got some trick plays in there. They're trying to utilize that Ben Johnson offense. And I do think that it was going to take a couple weeks going into the NFL season to get that offense down. And hopefully that was a sign for the Bears last week that they can accomplish what Ben Johnson wants, the rhythm that Ben Johnson wants, the accuracy and the timing, and they carry it over to the Raiders week.
Yeah. I do think the other part of this is people want to believe in the Bears,
Yeah,
whereas I don't think anyone really wants to believe in the Raiders.
yeah, people don't really care about the Raiders, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was a part of the pick too, where it's like it would be a lot more devastating for a Bears loss than a Raiders loss.
Big time. Yeah.
All right, well that's our first Wise Bowl. It does stink you can't put all 6 of our picks in a parlay, but you're gonna have to choose a side here. We're gonna have to come see who comes out on top.
Like a lane.
Um, my last pick, which is one of the, it's funny because I talked about the overs and the unders right at the beginning, and this is one of the highest overs of the week. But I still like it. The Ravens Chiefs over 48.5. Bounce back game for the Ravens after another devastating loss for in a primetime game. They're facing a Chiefs team that they've had trouble against multiple times in the playoffs. I am worried about the Chiefs defense a little bit. They got like that Eagles game. It was really scrappy. It was really low scoring. And on the other side, worried about the Chiefs offense as well. But the Ravens have scored 40, 44, and 30, and that gets me 18 points away from the over. So that that's kind of what I'm banking on here. Is that, and it seems like even if it's a blowout on one side, like I think the Ravens, if they get into that scenario, they're not going to let the gas off the pedal. They're just going to
Mhm.
keep scoring.
The way that they games in the past.
Yes, exactly. So they eventually have to learn, right? And the Ravens defense has been bad as well. So if the Chiefs running attack can get good, and I don't know if Matabuke is going to be playing, that will definitely affect the Chiefs running game. But every team's been able to run against them. So if the Chiefs running game is ever going to work, it's gonna try to work against this Ravens team, which is actually pretty scary to say because of how many men are on that Ravens defense that we like. But it's just how it's been in the NFL so far this year. So I think that there's going to be a lot of points in this game. over 48.5. Hopefully, we can get the Ravens might be able to do 95% of this alone.
I do think like you made the point about the Chiefs defense, which is fair. They they have had one of the better defenses in the NFL for it feels like since Mahomes arrived. But I feel like the Ravens are one of those teams where it almost doesn't even matter. Like they're gonna score points. They're gonna put up at least 24 no matter who the defense is. Like the
Agreed.
only thing that can slow them down is the month of January.
And turnovers.
Like, huh.
And
Yeah,
turnovers. Which
yeah.
which is funny
Fair.
because it hasn't come from Lamar all season.
Lamar does not turn the ball over
Yeah.
anymore.
Nope.
Didn't he have like 4 picks last year, I think?
Yes, I think he ended the year
Or
with either
something
3
ridiculous.
or 4 picks, maybe 4, because I think Justin Herbert ended up with
And
3, and he was like the
two of them
highest.
were deflected tip balls that were not his fault.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't worry about him turning the ball over. It would be pretty stunning to see Derrick Henry fumble again. But yeah, like I think they're gonna score points. I kind of think they're gonna go in and win by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I kinda wanted to take the line here, but it's at Arrowhead, 425. The Chiefs just won a game finally. Their offense was looking a little bit better. It was still pretty shaky against the Giants, definitely looking a little bit better. Um, and I think this is a team that or this is a Ravens game that they definitely circled on the calendar. It's one that they've been waiting for all year, and they wanna prove that they can beat high-powered AFC teams. They've already lost to one of them in a crazy, crazy comeback with fumbles and, kicks at the end of the half. Um, so instead of taking a favorite side here, I just figured Ravens kinda put the belt to the ass here and keep scoring on me.
In a weird way, I almost think that this game matters more for Kansas City. Like if the Ravens go to 1-3, you've lost at Buffalo
Mhm.
in a game that you definitely should have won, and you've lost to the Lions and then at Arrowhead. For the Chiefs, you've lost both of your home games so far to a team that just beat you in the Super Bowl, and you lost because your tight end dropped the would-be touchdown that went the other way. And then you lost to a team in your division, and you lost to a team that you've had their number for forever now. Like that's a tough one. Obviously, the schedule's tough, and like it's tough on both sides, but it was worse, I think,
I
if you're
think
the
it's
Chiefs to
definitely
go 1-2.
I think it's definitely worse for the Chiefs, and I think it's way like, I think there's conversations if the Chiefs do win of the Chiefs being back because the offense would have to look
Mhm.
good, the defense would have to look good.
Right.
Um, it would be and, like, this is funny, we said when they start 1 and 3 at the preseason or whatever, or 1 and 2, that's when we take them for the Super Bowl, and maybe I'll look at the odds and
Yep.
see what they are, because if they win next week, then the odds are drastically gonna change back. They're gonna be right back, and the Chargers are probably gonna win again, so they're gonna still be 2 behind the Chargers, with the Chargers having the tiebreaker for the division, but even if they make the wild card, there's not gonna be a single team in the NFL that wants to see them in wild card weekend. So, whether it's at Arrowhead or at Baltimore or whatever. So, they, if they look good and they end up beating the Ravens, it's a much, much bigger win than the Ravens kinda just scoring a lot of points again and beating them. And I guess
Yeah.
it's a big win for both teams. Um, and I don't think it's a lose or go home for either team. I still think both teams will probably make the playoffs, but
Yeah. I
the the chance for the Chiefs here, they could be right back in the conversation. Nick Wright could be going on Get Up or whatever show that he's on, pumping his chest, getting tattoos for the Super Bowl. And I don't think anyone would be I don't think it would be crazy because it would have to be a good looking Chiefs offense. And Xavier Worthy is playing again. I have a theory that he's gonna get tackled twice and just get carted off the game because he doesn't have a shoulder. So he's already braille to begin with, or not braille, but fragile to
Braille.
begin with. Frail, yeah, not braille. Um, he's
Braille's
not
the
blind.
language for the blind.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not blind. Um, but So I do think it would be a much, much bigger win for the Chiefs than it would be the Ravens. And but that's kind of why I didn't want to pick a side. I just wanna enjoy the game. Hopefully it's two high scoring offenses. And we see 48 points here or 49 points here.
Yep. I like it.
All right.
Last pick. I'm taking your Pats.
Yeah.
Although, uh, I feel like a lot of people are maybe have some more hope on the Panthers now after last week. I do not. Think that they still suck. Um, I said it when we did our episode the other day with Ethan that I think that game was great for Bryce Young because it just kicked the can down the road on talking about how bad of a season Bryce Young is having. I think the Pats D is going to swallow him up. Um, I think they're going to be able to run the ball a lot. I think especially after last week, like 5 fumbles is just it's not going to happen again. Um, is it at home?
Yeah, it's at home.
It's at home. Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like all signs point direction to the Pats here. The only thing that throws me off is the line's 5.5, which that's one of those like Vegas zone lines, which weirds me out. I just don't think the Panthers are good. And like the Pats kind of need this game
They
when you
do.
when you run down the schedule. Like this is a have to have.
Yeah.
So my only real concern is a backdoor Bryce. They
That's
come
I
back
was
and make
like
this feel good game.
I was driving down and I was thinking about the picks and I was like, man, if 21-17 happens, you don't get it. And that seems like the most likely scenario here, but I would like to see some Pats offensive competency here. And
Hmm.
they've had all the yardage, they've had all the throws that they need to make. Um, we talked about we talked about the Steelers game last episode, but they do need this game. I think just for even just the vibes in the locker room and just everything about it. And they have the pass rush that they had the first 2 weeks can get to Bryce Young, can really affect him, can swallow him up. There is gonna be like this last week, the pass rush was not as good. So, we'll have to see what kind of Pats defense we get. I do think Tetero McMillan he's been sidelined for the practices this week. So, if he's out, that is huge, huge for the Pats, because the teams have been able to throw all over the Pats besides the Steelers. And their running game, I'm not scared of if they run out Chuba Hubbard out there. And they need this win. They need this win absolutely. I do think that we were getting some. I've been looking at the TikTok comments to make sure because I get like notifications on my computer when we get them, and we were getting a couple for the Drake May comparison to Justin Herbert that we posted.
I'm sure.
And a lot of people were saying, you know, Justin Herbert was amazing right out of the gate. He won offensive rookie of the year. And we weren't like at least how I was thinking of it, we weren't trying to say Drake May has been better than young Justin Herbert. We were just saying that he has looked good.
No, it was
Yes, it's just that
situation.
yes, the situation is
Yeah.
similar, and that's kind of where I guess the clip that we posted wasn't as clear on that. Um, so I wanted to
Oh, they
address it
probably
here.
did better engagement wise.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I love the hate comments. I want because it just means people are listening and actually care about what we say. So it is funny to see the hate
It
comments.
does always hurt my feelings when people comment and say that they need to make podcast equipment more expensive. That
Happens
hurts my
way too
feelings.
often.
This was a $70 line.
It happens way
It's
too
no
much.
joke.
And I do think I mean we haven't posted the clips as consistently until this year. So it's like, a lot of these people don't know that we've been doing this for a while and we did it when
It's true.
we got this stuff when it was probably at its most expensive. It's probably much cheaper to get the equipment that we have now.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think so. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, yeah, and that's okay. We came here early. Which is funny. But um anyways, must win for the Pats. The Pats defense have to look good, especially if Tetsuo McMillan's not out there, because they don't have any other wide receivers that they really trust after Xavier Legette's start to the season. So,
He have to play.
what'd you say?
He has to play.
If yes, yes, yeah,
You don't have any other options like Renfro and him.
yeah. It's Renfro. It's like David Moore. Um, yeah, it's not great. So, and I think Christian Gonzalez is going to be back. All reports, I kind of saw the similar reports last week, but all reports are thinking that he's going to be playing this week. Um, and if he's out there, he's locking down any wide receivers the Panthers are going out there. So yeah, must win, and hopefully Travion feast because I don't think I hopefully Ramondre's in the doghouse. I sent you the cycle of Ramondre Stevenson where it's get this guy off my team. He has a great game. He fumbles. Get this guy off my team. So hope I can't deal with it anymore. So I hope Travion's out there and I hope he looks good. I also I kind of want a Diggs game. I was gonna pick Diggs going over. And I was also gonna pick the over in this game, but then I also thought about it, like Bryce Young could look really terrible and the Pats could have some stupid turnovers like they always do, and it could be low scoring, so I didn't go that route. But
Mhm.
I do hope Diggs gets cooking in here because it seems like he's been the most targeted wide receiver that we have on the roster. He just hasn't had that big game yet, and he looks healthy out there, and I think he's due. So hopefully we get that this game.
You're not worried about Diggs at all?
No, I'm not worried about Diggs. I saw the baby thing, and then I saw this other growth story that we're not going to talk about here on this pod. Um, that was from some guy with a mic on a podcast, so I don't know what to believe on that, but it was weird. You can go look it up if you want. Um,
Just the never
yeah,
mind.
it's I don't know what to believe with that. I'm not gonna even address it. It doesn't seem like the team has any worries about it, so I'm just gonna root for the wide receiver that's on the field. Um, a lot of the Pats fans are looking for Kyle Williams to get out there. They're looking for Efton Chisholm to get out there, especially after the Mario Douglas fourth down debacle. They really want those two guys playing. You know, the coaches don't listen to the fans, but maybe we see them out there with some more snaps. Um, even with so, I don't expect a big game out of them. All right, let's go to the Commanders before we get to the rest of the week, since we just did my team.
We are decrepit this week.
Yeah, it's kind
A
of
lot of
like the
injuries.
corpse of the Commanders.
Uh, Half of their offense is out. At least the line. Well, I don't even want to jinx anything. Uh, but obviously Eckler's done for the year. John Bates, our best blocking tight end, is done for a couple weeks. Noah Brown's out. McLaurin has a quad thing that he got a second opinion on, which isn't great, which makes me think they're considering surgery, which would shut him down for 3 months. That would suck. And then, of course, Jaden has got the knee. Did you see his press conference yesterday? Because he seemed kind of pissed that he wasn't automatically playing this week.
I did not.
Like
I'm sure he is pissed.
I've never seen him react. They like every question was like a 2 word answer. And he was basically like, I feel fine. It's up to the doctors.
I kind of love
So I
that
kind
though.
of like that. Yeah, right. Yeah. I like that Dan Snyder is not coming down and saying, well, he feels fine, so he's playing. Um, but as far as Sunday, I'm 75% sure McLaurin's not going to play. And I'd say Daniels is a coin flip. So if we're trotting Mariota out there with Debo as wide receiver one and Luke McCaffrey as wide receiver two, I don't feel great against the Falcons defense that has shown they've been able to shut down teams and is coming off of a pretty embarrassing loss coming back home. Um, Not a great spot to be in, but then it's like if you get the Penix that we saw last week, then none of that stuff really matters, and they
It's true.
probably win 20-6. Oh, I don't know. That's kind of like if they can get pressure on Penix, I think they're going to win like regardless of who plays on offense. I do like they'll be able to move it a little bit, even with Mariota and the B team at receiver.
Well,
So it really does
Bill's
like
hurt too, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think he's fine.
Okay.
And I like Rodriguez and McNichols. So I don't think that's like a huge gap there.
I mean, they don't even like Bill, so uh,
They like Bill. They just need to he's a rookie running back.
yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with it right now.
Yep.
He can't pass block. Although he did pick up a nice blitz the other day in that Raiders game. But alas, I think it really all depends on what Penix looks like. Like if he's able to bounce back and they can finally get Drake London involved, they can know, maybe some chunk plays to Bijan. Because our run defense has been pretty solid, and the only guy that they're missing now is Dietrich Wise, which obviously hurts, but he's not like a total game changer. Um, so defensively, I think they're in a pretty good spot, and I do like gun to my head. I still think that they're going to win. Um, but it's the injuries are making me uncomfortable. It feels like such a different vibe than the last time we played the Falcons.
Hmm.
It was like Penix's second game, and obviously like we're all healthy fighting for a playoff spot, and it just had like the game had some aura to it,
Oh yeah.
like Penix against Daniels. Now this year it's like, all right, now we've got a Washington team that's very, very injured going up against Falcons team that has looked like booty cheeks for back to back weeks now. Obviously that won that one game, but it was against JJ McCarthy, who was even worse than Penix. Um, it might be kind of a stinker. I kind of like the under in it.
I think it will be a stinker. The there's one thing I got going for you, and one thing that I don't have going for you. The thing that sucks, and it's I don't know what the stats are. It would be kind of cool to look it up, but I didn't have time. Um, but teams coming off a shutout that have good offensive players, like that's just not what you want. You don't want to be the next team. Like they have good offensive
Right.
players. They have a solid offense. You just don't want to be the
Yeah.
next team. That doesn't seem like you. I always hate coming off a team that just went off a loss. Um, Actually, I kind of like that about the Panthers game where they just got off their
Yep.
Super Bowl.
I like
So
that.
yeah. Um, but I think what has going for you is that I think you said it last episode. You have 2 weeks of Mariota before he becomes a backup again.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if this becomes the second week, I think you're going to get an efficient Mariota that passes the ball pretty well and then can run it when he needs to. Um, the injuries, of course, scare me. It is funny that like, especially the past 2 years of Debo, it's like that Debo. He's kind of like the Christian McCaffrey of this team, where it's like he's the last one standing. Like this is the guy that we expected to be out first. Um,
Yep.
I do think, and I hate doing this because it's kind of not Terry's fault, but it kind of is. Like maybe you should have played in the training camp.
We played. Yep. No, it absolutely is. It's not
Um,
surprising that he's already dealing with injuries.
no, exactly. So, um, yeah, I'm looking at Jane Daniels right now. He returns limited at practice. He says he feels good, but it's up to the doctors. You said that earlier.
Yep.
But Terry's out. It seems like he's out for the game. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what a depleted offense looks like. And Jalen Lane was great on special teams. Earned himself another. The Commanders got themselves another Rookie of the Week, Pepsi Rookie of the Week. So FedEx, I think it's FedEx now.
It's,
Um,
is it? That's ironic.
right?
The old stadium sponsor.
Um, so maybe we can get him involved in the offense a little bit since Noah Brown and Terry's going to be out. But it'll be an
Luke
interesting
is the
game.
guy. If Luke has a nice game, that would feed families.
Yeah.
He had 4 catches and a touchdown last week, but it was almost all in garbage time when like nobody was out there anymore. Um, but if he has a nice game and gets 5 or 6 targets, that would be awesome.
Because it just instantly gets into. I mean, he's Christian McCaffrey's brother. Like he's like, who knows what he can do? Like if he has like if he has over
Well, he's
100
also
yards,
such
it's gonna be like, holy shit! Like what do we
oh
have here?
yeah. He's such a positive guy. Like I've heard a couple of interviews that he does. He's like, man, like I'm just, I'm happy to do whatever they ask me to do. Like I just love playing football. I'm like, man, I wish this guy didn't suck. He's so easy to root for.
He is one of the easiest guys in the league to root for. Um, all right, let's uh let's keep going throughout the week. We have a London game, or where is this? Dublin. We have a Dublin game.
Ireland, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Ireland. Um, so Steelers I guess it's going to Dublin, and they're facing Minnesota. This is a stay away. I don't know why you would bet this
Oh,
game.
this is a huge stay away.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd
Vikings
bet this
minus two
game.
and a half wins is
Ugh,
ugh.
they're favored. I do
Oh
think the
yeah.
Steelers are
2
gonna
years
win.
ago, I would have been all in on the Vikings on this game.
Oh yeah, if they had Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold, you would have been right in here. Um, dude, yeah, I don't see why you'd want to bet this game. I do actually kind of like oh, the over the seas games because you wake up and you're like, I only got 30 minutes till football, or I have 5 minutes till football. I got to make sure I set my lineup.
Yeah.
Um, so that I always think that's kind of fun. Like you're waking up to some football. I couldn't imagine being on the the West Coast for this. Like, and I guess you could say this about any of the overseas games, but 6 in the morning, like I would not be waking up for no Carson Wentz versus Aaron Rodgers.
That's the thing is it's like it's good that it's those two guys, right? Like, yeah, it's just Wentz. Like if I
Yeah.
forget about this game,
Yes. Yeah. By 1:15, 1:30, it's like that game never even happened.
yeah,
All right. Titans, Texans, this is going to be a slop fest. Really wanted to pick the Titans. I so wanted to pick the
I did.
Titans. Um, but if any game, the offense for the Houston Texans is going to look right, it's got to be this game, right? Like I know we talk about the Titans defense, I feel like every week, but probably going to get a turnover or two from Cam Ward, and they'll
Yeah,
probably be set up in the red zone pretty quickly. You have to run the football at some point. They have to play better offense with CJ Stroud at some point, and they kind of need this win. They need to get to 2-2.
desperately, desperately.
So,
Oh, one and three.
oh yeah, 1-2. Sorry, I forgot they're 0-3. You're 1-3. Yeah, they definitely can't go 0-4. They need to get in this game.
It doesn't feel like they can beat anybody by more than a touchdown.
No, it's this the hook. The hook is what I like the most. It's like the 7.5
Mhm.
is what I love.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I don't think they could win against anyone by more than a touchdown. But I could on the other side of my head says like they could win by 10 and I wouldn't be too shocked. Like if they won by
yeah,
14, I'd be shocked. But for some reason the difference of 10 and 14 um
yeah.
is what I'm feeling here. All right, Eagles with the very injured Bucks. The Bucks do have their number. This should be the game of the 1 o'clocks. And what do we like here? I think what's the spread? I forget.
Eagles minus 3.5. I think I'm staying away from this game
I think I
because
would too.
normally I would want to Bucks because of the past, but like all the injuries and I mean these are two teams that have just like found ways to win through 3 weeks.
Hmm.
The Eagles are way and way healthier, which makes me think just set it and forget it. But laying 3.5 on the road against another playoff team is a lot.
And they've only had one good game of offense so far. So it is scary to have that three because they could win off a game winning field goal and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
So the 3.5 there, the other side of the hook, not I don't like very much. Um, I think if this was like 2.5, then I'd be all over it.
yeah, I think I'd go for it.
Um, but as with the Bucks, I think Chris Godwin's playing. I think Kristen Wirfs will be close to playing. I'm gonna
That
look
would
it
be
up.
a game changer if Lopes is out there. Because thinking about this Eagles D line against a Bucks line that's been decimated is not
He's
inspiring confidence.
Wirfs they say the quote is that he's in a good spot physically from the Buccaneers. Um, he hopes to return to
Like
the
me,
starting lineup against the Eagles. I do think that would be. He said he's pain free, so that would be huge for the Buccaneers. It's
And
huge for the
freeze good.
Buccaneers' run game as well, especially against this Eagles front,
Yeah.
who we've seen dominate all year so far. And what scares me would be that just they find a way, and without Mike Evans, Ibuka's probably going to get a touchdown or two, um, and they'll run the ball well. If Wirfs is out there, so they got to find a way to get to Baker, especially late in the game. The Eagles do, and
Yeah.
I do I can see the Eagles burying it pretty early, and then just having the Buck just kind of keep the Bucks from crawling back just over and over again.
Yeah, I can see that. It does kind of feel to me though like that this is a game where whoever has the ball last is going to win. Or like if the Eagles get the ball with a couple minutes left, they're just gonna be able to milk it down and go get the field goal.
Agreed.
Whereas if Baker's getting last, like we've seen it 2 weeks in a row now,
Hmm.
where he's gonna go score at the end. So that's why it's kind of a toss up. It almost makes me want to take the Bucks just out of like with that 3.5. But I could also see a world where yeah, the Eagles go up early and it's almost coast.
Yeah, they try to just coast and make sure that Baker doesn't keep. Like I could see them, especially without Mike Evans there, having
Hmm.
having a couple bad drives at the beginning of the game, get into the rhythm in the second half, and then the Eagles just have to fend off basically the Bucks. Um,
Hmm.
so a lot of different ways that this can go. That means it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited to watch this. So I do think that it is a stay away, but it's not like the stay away that we just talked about with the Vikings and the Steelers. It's a good stay away
Hmm.
of it's going to be
Yes,
two
just
good
enjoy the
games.
game.
Yeah. Um, Bills Saints. Isn't it 15 and a half for the Saints? I don't think we need to talk about this much.
I see. Yeah,
Um,
big number.
Big number. Yeah, it is a big number. I mean, we just watched them lose by 30 last week, so maybe it's not big enough.
Would this be the most shocking upset of the season?
Oh, a thousand
Like I
percent.
can't even imagine another game where the line would be this big.
No, yeah, because even the Browns, the line wasn't as big as this, and there probably, as you said, there probably won't be a line this big the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So this would definitely be the biggest upset of the year. I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't bet on it. Um, they're even at Buffalo, which so like they don't even get like the sense of being
Right.
home.
Okay.
So it's gonna be tough for the Buccaneers. Or sorry, for the Saints. And
Although I will say the I saw a clip from this the other day for some reason of the Bills going into Minnesota and beating the Vikings as like 17-point underdogs to Josh Allen's rookie year. So maybe there's some karma in there that they're kind of owed a big upset at home
yeah,
for that one. They're probably not. Not this week.
no, they are too
I don't think
efficient
they're
on
after Josh
offense.
Allen.
Like even if Josh Allen has a bad game, like they're not gonna slow down James Cook. So I really wish I bet that one rushing touchdown a game that they gave out in the props thing.
Mm,
Because I think they have it. I think they have it every year or every game so far. So um, Lions Browns. Lions are at home. I don't think the Browns pull up two upsets in a row.
no, I don't.
That would
I
be
don't either.
shocking.
Which makes me kind of like the Lions, but coming off a short week, I'm always nervous.
9.5's a big line.
It's a big line, but it also feels so easy. Like that. Maybe I'll alt it just to get better odds. Give me like an
Upper.
alt 13.5 or something
Okay.
like that.
What would scare me though is that they beat the Ravens by running the ball. And
Uh,
we've seen the Browns take away Derrick Henry, take away Josh Jacobs, and who did they play week one? They took away Chase Brown, which Chase Brown has not looked good all year, but he was a good running back. And they had Joe Burrow that year or that game. Um,
mhm.
so that would scare me. I do think that
That's fair.
Jared Goff has the ability to, when he's needed, when he's called upon, you know, pass the football efficiently. get down to the red zone, convert to touchdowns. And I do I also think that having 2 running backs is is of course better than having 1. But when you have the one bell cow back like Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs or Chase Brown, and they know how to stop them, and they figure out a way to stop them, they could just keep stopping them over and
Mhm.
over and over again. Um, with this thunder and lightning, you have different ways that you can really affect the running game and really affect the run defense. So I do think that it's not gonna I don't think they're gonna completely shut down the Lions offense. So maybe the alt line of 13.5 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like the Lions are gonna steamroll anybody when they're at home. Um, I could be wrong though. I just can't imagine the Browns scoring more than 10 points again.
That's what I was gonna say is that if the Lions defense, as we saw against Lamar Jackson, just completely playing their hearts out. Doesn't matter who the personnel is out there. There's they're gonna let Joe Flacco beat him. Like they're gonna not score. Like they have to score 13 points. They have to score
Yeah.
13 points. And and I think they can do that. Even like they could get turnovers that get them in the red zone instantly or pick sixes. So I like the Lions here. All right. Jags 49ers. The Mac Jones Bowl. Both teams have started Mac Jones the past 2 years. The line is 3.5 for the Jaguars. Do we have news on Brock Purdy?
I haven't heard anything.
I am looking now. Um, real
How
chance of
much does
getting their
that
starting
change
quarterback.
your perception of this game? Is the real question.
Kind of not at all. Part of me thinks not at all. What worries me is the Nick
I'm
Bosa,
right. Yeah,
and
the Jags are 2-1.
they are 2-1, and they haven't
Feels
looked
weird.
good.
It feels like they're 2-1
Yeah, they don't feel like they're
in a
2-1
single game.
team.
They haven't looked good.
No, and I wouldn't say like the Niners didn't look good last week, and they I think they did look good against the Saints, but it's the Saints. The
Yes.
Jags defense too can get turnovers. Like they're not great at pass defense, they're not great at pass rush or run defense. They can get turnovers, and I think that'll
Right.
come into effect here, especially if Mac Jones is playing. 3.5, kind of like. I mean, the Niners won by 1 last week. I think it's gonna be low scoring. 46.5 seems like a good under. I'll give you that. It seems like a good under there.
It's a high total.
That's why, yeah, it's kind of weird.
46,
It's kind of weird. I mean, the Jaguars can't score in the red zone
and it's Mac Jones.
for now. For now, it's Mac Jones.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that seems odd to me.
I guess that over under is guessing that Brock Purdy's playing, right?
I guess. Yeah. Even with Purdy,
I know he's coming off an injury too,
is
like the
the
week.
Jags defense decent, or have they just played the Texans and the Panthers?
I think it's safe just play that. I think they can get turnovers. Like I think they can
Right.
they can jump the routes, get some turnovers.
Yeah.
But other than that, I do like their cornerbacks, but other than that, like their D line has guys because they've been drafting D linemen in the top 100 the past,
Mhm.
5 years. So they have guys on the defensive line, um, but they're not anyone that's been a superstar yet. So
Mhm.
it's a weird defense. It's still a young defense that has a lot of first rounders on it. Um, but in the 49ers defense, it's funny. I don't think it matters. They're kind of like the Lions. They don't think it matters who's out there.
Right.
Like they just have a good defensive scheme. And Robert Salah being back out there as a defensive coordinator, I think that matters a lot.
Some juice.
Yeah, I think it does give
Some
him
juice.
some juice. And it gives him a personality, which matters for a defense a lot. I mean, it matters for an offense as well. Um, but having a unit have a personality is huge in the NFL. So I don't know. I kind of like the Jags plus 3.5 though. I think the Niners could win this by a field goal.
It does feel like it's going to be an icky close game.
Yeah,
Feels like
closer
that's all the
than
Jags
either
do.
team really wants, I
And the
think.
Niners, they kind of play the same style of football
Yeah, yeah, I
in a
could see
way.
that. Um, so I think the real bet here would be the under 46.5. That's the real
Yes,
bet.
I agree. That feels way too low.
And then the last oh we got the Colts and the Rams. Almost forgot them. I'm honestly at this point I'm kind of tired of the discourse. Like I just want the Rams to whoop them.
You think?
Yeah, I'm tired of this Daniel Jones shit. If they become 4-0, it's going to become insufferable. And so that's kind of where I'm at on this game. The line is 3.5 for the Rams. I think I'm going to take the 3.5 for the Rams. And this is another game that has a really high over under 49.5. I think this goes under as well.
I saw that one and I was surprised that it was that high. Like the Rams offense has not like
They play
they
down to
look
their
good every
competition.
week. Exactly. Like it doesn't feel like they're going to put up a big number against anybody,
No.
which is interesting.
And even at their highest, even at their peaks with Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua or OBJ and Cooper Cup,
Yeah.
they never blew out anybody. So I do think that the
Yeah.
total is going to be low. So maybe that hurts the 3.5, but I think they could win by a touchdown. Um, they need to stop the running attack because the way that the Colts offense has been balanced has really been why Daniel Jones has looked so good and why their offenses look so good throughout the season. The Jonathan Taylor, I think, honestly, should be close to the favorite of Offensive Player of the Year right now, and he's looked
Yeah.
amazing these past 3 weeks. So if they can slow down the run game, get after Daniel Jones, make him uncomfortable, make him throw a little bit more than he's had to these past couple games, well, they'll get the victory here.
It does feel like at some point they can't look as efficient as they do. And like I feel like the Rams are going to jump on them too. Like they're going to be playing. I guess they were playing from behind against the Broncos though. I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels like you like can't bet against Daniel Jones right now, which is so odd.
I know, and I hate it. I just want it to be over. I want the nightmare to
I
be
know,
over.
because you want to bet against him so badly.
Yes. I want him to look bad so I can bet his over on interceptions and the spread of the other team. Like that's what I'm looking for here. Um,
Yeah,
and like they've punted once in 3 weeks. Like, come on.
yeah.
There's no way this is
It's,
gonna keep happening.
it's absurd.
And all right, the Monday night games, which stink. Jets, Dolphins, two 0-3
They do
teams.
stink.
One of them will be off the 0-3 list. Um, I like what you said about the Dolphins in last episode, so I guess I would go with the
Really?
Dolphins.
I considered making the Dolphins a pick, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that.
You didn't want to tie your boat to Tua. I wouldn't want to either. Um,
I also like. I don't hate the Jets, especially if Fields plays. I feel like they're frisky.
they are a little bit frisky, and the Dolphins defense does stink.
Yes,
44 and a
it
half.
does.
We take the over. Everyone thinks it's going to be a stinky game. We take the over.
This defense has been gashed by everybody so far.
Both teams' defenses.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Yeah, definitely don't hate it.
All right, and then Bengals Broncos. Broncos 7.5. I wish that line was lower so I could bet it because I like 7.5. I just don't trust Bo Nix to win by 7.5 because I think their defense is going to destroy the Bengals offense.
What's the total on that game?
That is 43.5. You are lagging a little bit. Is your computer plugged in?
Like half the games in the NFL are 43.5 this week. Yeah, I window. Sorry,
Oh, that's okay.
figured I could look something up, but I guess not.
Nope. Nope. You got to go on your phone. Yeah, I do think that they're all like 44, 43, 45. And I think that's the problem. There are 43.5, including tonight on Thursday Night Football. So it is the number of the week for the totals.
That is interesting. I kind of like that under, just with how the Broncos' offenses looked,
I'd agree.
and obviously who the Bengals have right now.
And I think that what would worry me is that the same thing that happened in the backup bowl happens in this, where we get two defensive touchdowns, the Broncos, or just a defensive touchdown by the Broncos. Um, that would scare me for the under. But I definitely don't hate it. And I definitely think that like from the Reds, like this has just been, you know, Bo Nix had a slow start last year as well, and then he turned it around. It was kind of like this week that we were calling his number and he turned it around. But man, he just hasn't looked good. This has not looked good all year. Their running attack has looked decent. Their defense has looked good, but Bo Nix, man, just hasn't been able to put it together.
Yeah, I 7.5 is such a big number. It feels like for that team right now.
Truly.
Like, did they handle that against the Titans? They might have, but it didn't. Like,
No, I
I
think it
forget
was
what the final
7.
was. It didn't
I'm
feel
looking at
like
the
they were
font.
going to.
It was 8. Yeah, so 7.5 did cover.
8. Okay, so they did cover. Okay, well,
Right on the
no, I
edge.
don't like that. I think that's another under.
Yeah, I kind of like the under there. I like it.
Maybe
All
take
right.
every under this week.
Besides
Like,
Jets,
I like these
Dolphins,
unders and the Chargers.
and the
Chargers
Chargers.
Giants.
All right. Well, that's the preview. We have a touchdown parlay before we leave, and we'll recap everything before we go. The touchdown parlay, Puka Nakua, have him going against the Colts. He's due. He's had a bunch of catches this year, probably close to 50 already. More like 40, but um, he hasn't had a touchdown yet. He's due. I think that he gets in the end zone. Um, Chris picked Travion Henderson. Talk about someone who's due. We talked about it with the Pats game. We need to get him running. We need to get him down the field. And maybe it's even a little screen pass or something. Like, why can't we figure out how he can be the James White of this Patriots version? Um, so then we have Cam Scatabo, who's had 2 good games in a row. Tyrone Tracy's out. We need it for the over in that game. And I think with Jackson Dart, especially in the red zone, he'll look better passing the ball when they do try to pass, but first and second down, they're probably going to try to run it with Cam Scatabo.
Yep.
And then Emeka Ibuka, who's had 4 touchdowns in 3 games, 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
Did he score last? I don't think he scored
I
last
think
week.
just 3. Yeah, I think just a 3. 3 in 3 weeks.
3, but also nobody's out there.
Yes, I was going to say.
Sterling Shepard.
Yep, it's him and Sterling Shepard. It's the coming back of Chris Godwin if he does come back. I think they rely on Ibuka a lot in this game, and he's been a machine so far. So let's get another one for him. That altogether is plus 2,600. So it's higher odds than last week, and last week we went 0 for 4. So we'll see how that goes. Or maybe no,
No,
that was 2 weeks ago.
were.
That was 2 weeks ago
We did.
because we got Allen and we
Allen,
got Kenneth
Hey,
Walker, right? I think Kenneth Walker scored.
yes.
It might have just been Allen. I'm looking for Kenneth Walker right now. Yeah, he had 2. He had 2. We're good. So yeah, we went halfway last year or last week, but I like it. It's all plus money, and I think we got good odds for these guys. Especially we have 2 top tier receivers right now, 2 rookie running backs. The scariest one is Travion, I think.
Yep.
So let's get him involved, McDaniels. Let's get him involved. To recap everything, I have Packers -6.5. I have Bears +1.5 in the Wise Bowl, and I have Chiefs Ravens over 48.5. Chris?
I have the Chargers Giants over 43.5. I have the Raiders -1.5 in the Wise Bowl, and I've got Brady's Pats -5.5 against the Panthers.
And the touchdown parlay one more time. Puka, Travion, Scatabo, and Buka +2,600. Thank you all for listening. Happy gambling this weekend.